Series. I get to cover everything I wanted to in part one. Like, let's not waste any more time because there's so much. Jeez, I feel like these hiccups are gonna become a problem today, aren't they? Hello. No, this is hiccups. Hello there. And welcome back to the channel. So about 2 months. Oh my gosh. So about 2 months ago, I made a video about the Clone Wars micro series, which has been criminally forgotten. This is so bad. And this video is going to be a part 2 to that video because I didn't get to cover everything I wanted to in that part 1. Such as things like Shaggy the Jedi. Shaggy the Jedi. That's a thing, and we're gonna talk about it later. That's a thing. Stop. Oh my gosh. I'm drinking water. I got all this water. And it's not helping. This is gonna be a fun video to film, I can already tell. So I highly recommend watching part 1 before you watch part 2, because this is part 2, and that's part 1. So if you want to watch that video, it's right there. Did you click on it? Did you click on it? Okay, but let's not waste any more time, and let's dive into the part 2, the Incredible Forgotten Clone Wars part 2. And like my whiteboard says, it is a very late part 2 that no one wanted. So I basically made a part 2 to a video that I made like 2 months ago, and it's like my worst performing video. I am extremely intelligent. So the first thing I want to talk about is how freaking awesome Mace Windu is in this series. In all of his action scenes, he's so cool. He's like, and then I love it when he's like, and like when he uses like the Force, and then he starts like punching that one guy. And sorry, sorry. I really like Mace Windu, so I just no, he fell. Now, me and my friends have always loved Mace Windu, even since we were kids, and we just called him Bald Dude with a Purple Lightsaber because we didn't know his name. Which, I mean, in fairness, that's a pretty accurate name. But even though I've always liked Mace Windu, I've always felt like he didn't really do much in the prequels other than be bald and have a purple lightsaber. And die. But this micro series is like, oh, you wanted some cool Mace Windu scenes? We got you. Literally, this series has my favorite Mace Windu action scenes of anything he's been in. In my opinion, it smokes the prequels, and it even beats the other Clone Wars show. And the way he'll jump and do a backflip and then slice the droids is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black Jedi. If that sounded stupid, it's from this meme where the guy from IGN was reviewing Miles Morales' game, and he said this.
The way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
It blows my mind that someone wrote that in a script and then like looked at it and was like, I'm gonna say those words. Hey, my hiccups have gone away. That's good. Now I kind of hope they come back. It was kind of funny. Okay, now let's move on to this series' General Grievous. And I love the way they set him up. They don't just immediately jump into a battle. We start with these Jedi who are all on edge and terrified, and it helps build so much tension seeing them so afraid. We also learned that Shaggy has recently quit mystery solving to become a Jedi Master, which finally confirms all of our fan theories that Scooby-Doo is set in the Star Wars universe. I knew it! And in this scene, Shaggy is really just an emotional mess. But after all this incredible build-up, Grievous finally reveals himself, and it's awesome because they really emphasize the horror, and they portray him as almost this monster in the shadows. And all the Jedis begin fighting Grievous at once. And, you know, while I love Revenge of the Sith, it is my favorite Star Wars movie, I've always felt like Obi-Wan defeated Grievous way too fast. And I've always wished that fight was longer. But now after watching this series, I feel like I finally got to see that action that I've been missing. And I love how they let Grievous duel all of them at once, and they really emphasize how great of a duelist he really is. But unfortunately, Grievous begins to overpower all the Jedi, and he begins to brutally kill them, including killing Shaggy. Wow, he killed Shaggy? I was not expecting that. I guess he was only using 1% of his power. But I really do love this entire action scene, and I think seeing Grievous kill those Jedis and take their sabers adds more weight to Revenge of the Sith when we see the sabers he's taken. Now, in part 1, I talked a lot about Anakin, but I did not mention his final quest because it was so amazing I thought I would just save it. Basically, Obi-Wan and Anakin go to this village in Pandora, I guess, because these are obviously the people from Avatar, which once again confirms all of our fan theories that Avatar is also set in the same universe as Star Wars. I'm not crazy, I knew it. And then after that bombshell reveal, the Pandorans take Obi-Wan and Anakin to the village master, who is Splinter from the Ninja Turtles, which once again confirms that the Ninja Turtles are also part of the Star Wars universe. I also knew it, and I'm not crazy. George Lucas, you crazy son of a gun. Man, this stuff is all so cool. It's like my fanfiction is becoming a reality. Am I acting a little too crazy? Please let Playing with Fire be in the Star Wars universe. Please let Playing with Fire be in the Star Wars universe. If you did that, George, my life would be complete. Well, that was enough fan stuff. I guess I should probably put my little fanfiction down. Just a little thing I've been working on. But Anakin's mission is to go stop these evil separatists from taking the men of this village and turning them into savage beasts. But I'm kind of surprised that Anakin wants to do this because I thought he'd like the fact that the village is only the women and the children. But right before he goes on this quest, the village people stop him and put those blue lines on his chest. And if you'll remember in part 1, I told this story about how my friend paid his brother $40 for that action figure, and then they both end up leaving comments on my video. But after seeing my video, one of them actually went out and rebought his brother that Anakin toy and then gave it to him. Isn't that a wholesome way to end this this thing that I mentioned earlier in part 1? The video. So I guess I'm sorry that I made fun of y'all, because apparently it wasn't such a bad investment after all. But Anakin ends up going into this cave that has some great creepy atmosphere. And in this cave, he sees some cave drawings on the wall. And this leads to an absolutely brilliant scene where the cave drawings come to life. And through this visual metaphor, we see how the dark side can give you power, but in the end, it will consume everything you love. And the scene's art and music come together to really make this a standout scene. And it is beautiful visual storytelling that hints at Anakin's future. Now, Anakin's plot runs side by side with another plot, which is the attack on Coruscant. And as a Star Wars fan, I've always wanted to see the attack on Coruscant, and I was so disappointed that they didn't show it in Season 7 of Clone Wars. But I had no idea going into this series that this series was gonna show the attack on Coruscant, but they did, and it was awesome. Oh, and remember how cool Mace Windu is in this series? And you're probably thinking, like, there's no way he could get any cooler, right? Well, he rides a freaking vulture droid. Look at him go! He's all like, I'm sorry. He's so cool. Now, of course, in live action, Samuel L. Jackson riding a vulture droid might look silly. But through this animation, they completely pull it off, and it's awesome. But finally actually seeing this invasion just adds so much to Revenge of the Sith's opening. Because now I have a visual to put with the opening, and it gives it context. And Revenge of the Sith is already my favorite Star Wars movie, but this series just keeps finding ways to make it even better. But now let's cut back to Anakin, who is fighting those savage beasts. And I'll admit, at first, I was kind of mixed on this plot. I wasn't sure that I really like this whole savage beast thing. But once Anakin saves them and they finally get to reunite with their family, that's when it, like, really clicked for me. Like, there is no reason I should be crying at, like, a mole man hugging a little girl. But I am. Now, Chancellor getting taken could just be a simple kidnapping, but I love how they instead turn it into a long, intense chase. And I love how Chancellor actually wants to get kidnapped, so he's getting annoyed about how his protectors are actually doing a good job. And I love how he's just sitting back there like, yes, yes, thank you. Good job protecting me, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, this is taking forever. I'm supposed to meet Count Dooku, and I don't want him to get ahead of me. Well, I guess he can't get ahead of me. But eventually Grievous captures Chancellor, but unfortunately he does not kill Shaak Ti. I realize that may sound gruesome, but hear me out, okay? In Star Wars, it's like a running joke because, like, Shaak Ti has died like 5 times in canon. And because of that, it's just like a meme that she keeps on dying. And because of that joke, I'm kind of sad this series didn't continue on doing that. And just, you know, hey, what's another death to her, you know?
What is it, Skywalker?
And then we get this awesome scene where Mace uses the Force to crush Grievous's chest plate. Man, right when I thought Mace couldn't get any cooler. But seriously, I love how the cough that Grievous gets from Mace doing that sticks with him into Revenge of the Sith. It makes this series feel more consequential. And as Grievous tries to escape, Mace Windu jumps really high in the air and tries to stop his ship from going, but he misses and he has to, you know, use the Force, and he falls back down to the ground safely. And you know, if there's one thing we can agree about Mace Windu, is that he is great at falling from high places and surviving. That's just like what he's good at. He did it earlier in the show too. He does it again now. He's just so great at falling from high places and landing perfectly fine. But on a serious note, I bet he wishes that he remembered the skill that he had in this series in Revenge of the Sith, because it would have come in handy. Actually, what I wish happened is I wanted Grievous' ship to start to take off, and everyone's like, oh no, there's no way we can stop it. And then Mace Windu is still riding that vulture droid, and then he just flies it, crashes into Grievous' ship, and he's like, I'm riding a vulture droid, mother. But now it is time to talk about the best scene of this entire series. We cut back to Anakin, who is just filled with rage, and just like how the cave drawing predicted, he lets the dark side consume him. Even though this scene is only a few seconds long, just watching Anakin ponder about what he's just done is just, it's phenomenal. And I think that entire scene together is genuinely one of Anakin's best scenes in all of Star Wars. Of course, you know, it's number 2 to obviously number 1, the part where he talks about sand. That's obviously Anakin's best moment. Actually, no, number 3. Younglings. Younglings is number 2 when they killed the younglings. That was pretty cool. Just kidding. I don't support child murder. That was a very awkward way to say that. And of course, the series concludes right before Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin and Obi-Wan learn about the attack and they gotta go save Chancellor. Now, technically this ending does contradict Season 7 of Clone Wars, but honestly, I'm okay with this. Because that's like the only thing that really has to be changed for this to be canon. And I want this series to be canon because of how much it adds to the prequels. And I myself am definitely gonna count this as canon, because it is just way too good to not be a part of the Star Wars universe. And it's not like Star Wars has always had perfect continuity. Like, you do remember that Shaak Ti dies like 7 times, right? But if you just pretend that this ending didn't happen and that last adventure between Obi-Wan and Anakin happened some other time during the Clone Wars, it works in continuity, so I think it's fine. I went into this micro-series with such low expectations, and they just blew them out of the water on every level. It has amazing character work that adds a lot to the prequels. It has a beautiful and unique art style. It has great action and great direction. I am just so glad that I finally got to watch this series. And if you're watching right now and you haven't seen it, then I guess I just spoiled it all for you. But still, go watch it because I promise it is worth your time. And please, just don't let this incredible series be forgotten. Okay guys, this video was so long, I think I said lots of words, but I think I said all the words that I wanted to say about this series. And I realized that part 1 didn't do good, so I'm guessing this video won't do good either, but I'm just way too passionate about this series to stay quiet, and to be honest, I just don't care about views. I'm gonna talk about whatever I'm passionate about, whatever I want to talk about. And I didn't want to make a part 1 without a part 2, and then that video just be left there without ever being finished, because that'd be weird. But seriously, if you enjoyed, there's a playlist somewhere on screen, and there's also a subscribe button, and I swear if you click that subscribe button, I swear if you click that subscribe button, man, that'll piss me off. Okay, bye.